Hello, everyone, and welcome to Global English Talks. I'm Susan, and I'm really happy you're here with us today. This podcast is a calm space where you can listen to real English conversations about daily life. No pressure, just natural listening.
And I'm Mark. Thanks for joining us. We talk like friends, having coffee together, because learning English should feel comfortable, not stressful. You don't need a notebook right now. Just listen and enjoy the conversation.
Exactly. Here, we focus on simple English you can actually hear in real situations: work, family, feelings, small problems, and small victories, too. Real life gives us the best language practice.
Today's episode is going to help you feel more confident when you speak about yourself in English. Many listeners feel nervous in important conversations, especially when they want to make a good impression.
So think of this as a friendly practice moment, not a lesson. We will explore ideas together, share stories, and give you language you can imagine using tomorrow.
By the end of this episode, you will feel calmer about talking in English during job interviews and everyday professional situations.
Take a deep breath, relax your shoulders, and stay with us. Let's begin our conversation together. So, today we are talking about job interview practice. Not only answers, but the way you speak about yourself in English. Many learners know grammar, but they feel lost when they must describe their experience or personality.
Yes, because interviews are not like school questions. Nobody asks, "What is the past tense of go?" They ask things like, "Why should we choose you?" or "Tell me about a challenge." That can feel very personal.
And it matters because interviews are moments where language opens doors. Sometimes a person has amazing skills, but they cannot show them clearly in English. That can feel frustrating.
I once met a listener at a small language meetup in Toronto. It was a Saturday morning in a public library cafe. He told me he worked in engineering for 10 years, but during interviews he only said short answers like "yes, I did that," or "I helped." He sounded unsure, even though he was very experienced.
That is such an important point. Interviews are not about perfect English. They're about connection. The interviewer wants to understand who you are and how you think.
Exactly. You don't need big words. You need clear stories. Simple sentences can sound strong when they're honest and organized.
And if you are listening right now, maybe you have an interview soon, or maybe you just want to feel ready when an opportunity appears. Preparation gives peace of mind.
So if this episode helps you, remember to follow Global English Talks or share it with a friend who is also learning English. Listening together can make practice more fun.
Today, we will talk about how to explain yourself, how to stay calm, and how to sound natural even when you feel nervous.
Think of it like rehearsing a conversation with friends before an important meeting. No pressure, just step by step.
All right, let's start by understanding what a job interview really is in simple English. When people hear the words job interview, many imagine a serious room, a long table, and someone asking difficult questions. But in simple English, a job interview is just a conversation with a purpose. Two people try to understand if they can work well together.
Yes, the company wants to know your skills, but they also want to know how you communicate. Can you explain ideas clearly? Can you listen? Can you stay calm when something unexpected happens?
And you are also interviewing them. Sometimes learners forget this part. You are not only trying to be accepted, you are also deciding if that job fits your life.
Exactly. I remember a video interview I did for my apartment years ago. It was early morning, maybe 7 o'clock. My neighbor started drilling the wall during the call, very loud. I apologized many times, but the interviewer laughed and said, "Real life happens." That moment actually helped us connect.
That story is important because interviews are human moments. They are not perfect performances. Small things go wrong. A word disappears from your memory, your internet freezes. You take a breath and continue.
Many learners think they must sound like a native speaker, but interviewers usually want clarity, not perfection. If they understand your ideas, you are already doing well.
So, a simple definition could be this: a job interview is a structured conversation where you share your past, your skills, and your future goals.
And notice something interesting. Most questions are actually invitations to tell stories. Tell me about a challenge. Describe a project. What are your strengths? These questions are asking for examples from your life.
That means preparation is not memorizing big sentences. It is remembering moments, a problem you solved, a time you helped someone, a mistake you learned from.
Yes. Imagine someone asks, how do you work in a team? You don't need complicated grammar. You can say, last year I worked with 3 people on a project. We had a short deadline. I organized weekly meetings. Simple language can sound very confident.
And another important idea is pacing. Many learners speak very fast because they're nervous, but interviews are not races. Taking a small pause shows confidence.
Silence can actually help you. A short pause gives your brain time to choose words. Interviewers often see that as thoughtful, not weak.
So instead of thinking, I must impress them, try thinking, I will explain myself clearly. That small change makes a big difference.
All right, now that we understand what an interview really is, let's explore a picture that might help you remember how to approach it.
Mark, when I think about job interviews, I imagine something a little unexpected. Not an office, not a desk. I imagine arriving at someone's home for dinner for the first time.
That is interesting. I already feel nervous just thinking about it. You ring the bell, you hear footsteps coming closer, and you wonder if you brought the right gift.
Exactly. Imagine it is early evening, maybe 6 o'clock. The sky is still a little orange outside. You stand at the door holding a small box of dessert. You don't know the people very well. You want to be polite, but also yourself.
And when the door opens, nobody expects you to be perfect. They don't expect a speech. They just want to know who you are. Are you kind? Are you easy to talk to? Can the conversation flow naturally?
That is how interviews work. Many learners think they must perform like actors, but interviews are more like conversations at that dinner table. The company is asking, can we spend many hours together every week?
I love that image, because at a dinner, you don't use the biggest words you know. You tell simple stories. Maybe someone asks, what do you do? And you say, I help organize projects, or I work with customers every day.
And think about listening, too. At dinner, you don't only talk, you react, you smile, you ask questions back. Interviews also feel better when they become two-way conversations.
I once visited a friend's family in Madrid. It was late at night, maybe 10 o'clock, and everyone talked at the same time. I felt lost at first, but when I started asking small questions, people included me more. The pressure disappeared.
That is a beautiful example. When learners focus only on giving perfect answers, they forget connection. But connection is what people remember.
Also, at dinner, small mistakes don't destroy the evening. Maybe you drop a fork. Maybe you forget a name. Everyone laughs and continues.
The same happens in interviews. If you forget a word, you can explain another way. You can say, sorry, I don't remember the exact word, but I mean. That honesty often feels confident.
And here's another part of the metaphor. You prepared before going to dinner. You chose clothes. Maybe you checked directions. Preparation gives comfort.
Yes, preparation is not pretending to be someone else. It is simply arriving ready to share who you already are.
So when you imagine your next interview, maybe picture that doorbell moment. You breathe, you smile, and you step into a conversation, not a test.
Now, let's talk about some practical ways to do that step by step. All right, Mark, let's start with our first practical idea. Many listeners ask, what should I prepare first? And honestly, I think the best starting point is your own story.
I agree. Tip 1 is simple. Prepare your tell me about yourself story. Almost every interview begins there. But many people try to say everything from childhood until today. That becomes confusing.
Yes, imagine opening a suitcase and throwing all your clothes on the floor at once. Nobody understands what is important. A good answer is like choosing 3 outfits and placing them neatly on the bed.
I like that image. Choose 3 parts: where you started, what you learned, and what you want next. For example, you could say, I started working in customer service 5 years ago. I learned how to solve problems quickly. Now I want to grow in a company where I can lead projects.
Notice how simple that sounds. Short sentences, clear direction. You don't need complicated grammar to sound professional.
And practice speaking it out loud, not only in your head. I once practiced answers silently and thought I was ready. During the interview, my mouth felt slow because I had never actually said the words.
Talking out loud changes everything. You can practice while walking, cooking, or even in the car. Yes, people may think you're talking to yourself, but honestly, that is excellent practice.
Tip 2 is about examples. Many questions want stories. If someone asks, tell me about a challenge, they don't want theory, they want a moment.
I remember a listener who worked in a bakery in Sao Paulo. She told us she prepared one story about a busy Saturday morning when the oven stopped working. Customers were waiting. She organized the team, called maintenance, and offered coffee to calm people down.
That story shows teamwork, problem solving, and communication, all in simple English. You could say, we had a problem with equipment. Customers were waiting. I helped organize solutions. Clear and strong.
And stories help your brain relax. When you remember a real moment, words come more naturally.
Tip 4 is something many learners forget. Slow down. Silence is not your enemy.
Yes, think about a chef tasting soup. They don't throw ingredients quickly without thinking. They pause, taste, and adjust. Speaking slowly shows control.
If you need time, you can say, that's a good question. Let me think for a second. Native speakers do this all the time.
I once watched an interview in a co-working space in Berlin. The candidate paused often. At first, I thought she was nervous, but later I realized she was choosing words carefully. She sounded thoughtful and confident.
Fast speech can hide mistakes. Slow speech shows intention.
And now, tip 4. This one may surprise people. Prepare questions for the interviewer.
Yes, many learners think interviews end when questions stop. But when you ask something like, what does success look like in this role? You show curiosity.
I remember asking once, what do people enjoy most about working here? The interviewer smiled immediately. The energy changed.
Questions show that you imagine yourself inside the company already. It becomes a conversation between equals.
So 4 simple ideas. Prepare your story, bring real examples, slow down your speech, and ask questions back.
None of these require perfect English. They require clarity and courage.
And next, we want to talk about something very important, because preparation is powerful, but rest also matters more than people think. Mark, I think many listeners imagine preparation as long nights and no sleep. They repeat answers again and again until they feel exhausted. But something important happens when we forget to rest.
Yes, your brain becomes like a phone with too many apps open at the same time. Everything slows down. You press a button and nothing responds. That can happen during interviews too.
I remember a listener who wrote to us from Seoul. She had an online interview at 9 in the morning. The night before, she practiced until 2 a.m. She memorized many sentences, but during the interview, she forgot simple words like project and meeting.
That makes sense. When you are tired, memory becomes heavy. Language needs energy. Rest is not laziness, it is preparation.
I like to imagine it like baking bread. After mixing the dough, you must let it rest. If you try to bake immediately, the bread becomes hard and small.
That is a beautiful image. Rest gives space for ideas to grow quietly. You don't see it happening, but something important is changing inside.
Before an important conversation, doing something calm can help more than more practice. Maybe a short walk, maybe listening to music, maybe drinking tea near a window.
Years ago, I had a big interview in Vancouver. The morning felt cold and gray. I almost stayed home reviewing notes again. But instead, I walked around the block. I watched a dog chasing pigeons in the park. I laughed alone for a moment. When I arrived at the interview, my shoulders felt lighter.
That small emotional reset matters. Interviews are emotional experiences, not only language exercises.
And sleep is powerful. Even one good night can help you remember vocabulary faster. Your brain organizes information while you sleep.
Some learners worry that resting means losing time, but imagine trying to run a race with tired legs. More effort does not mean better results.
Exactly. A calm mind listens better, answers better, and even smiles more naturally.
So, if you have an interview soon, maybe close your notes earlier than you think. Trust what you already know.
Because confidence often grows during quiet moments, not busy ones.
All right, now let's take a small language walk together and explore some useful words you may hear during interviews. Let's start our tiny word tour. The first word is strength. Many interviews include this word. People ask, "What are your strengths?"
A strength is something you do well or something that helps others trust your work. It can be a skill or a personal quality. For example, you can say, "One of my strengths is organization. I like planning tasks and meeting deadlines." This matters because interviews are not only about experience, they're about how you work with people and problems.
Our second word is challenge. This word sounds scary, but it is actually very friendly in interviews.
A challenge means a difficult situation that helped you learn something. Interviewers often ask about challenges because they want to see how you react under pressure. You could say, "A big challenge for me was managing many clients at the same time. So I created a simple schedule system." This shows growth, not failure.
The next word is experience. Many learners hear this word but feel unsure how to explain it.
Experience means things you have done before that help you today. It does not only mean big jobs, it can include school projects or volunteer work. For example, I have experience working with customers because I helped at my family's store. That matters because interviewers want proof that you already practiced certain skills.
Word number 4 is responsibility. It is a long word, but very important.
Responsibility means something people trust you to take care of, maybe tasks, people, or decisions. You could say, "My main responsibility was organizing weekly meetings and updating reports." This helps interviewers imagine what you actually did every day.
Our fifth word is deadline. Many workplaces use this word often.
A deadline is the final time to finish a task. It's like a finish line in a race. For example, we had a short deadline, so I divided the work between team members. Saying this shows you understand time management, which companies value a lot.
Next word is teamwork. I personally love this one because almost every job needs it.
Teamwork means cooperating with others to reach a goal. It is not only being friendly, it's sharing ideas and helping when problems appear. You might say, "Good teamwork helped us finish the project early because we communicated every day." Interviewers listen carefully for this because workplaces depend on collaboration.
And our last word today is feedback. Some learners feel nervous about this word.
Feedback means comments that help you improve. It can be positive or corrective. For example, "My manager gave me feedback about my presentations, so I practiced speaking more clearly."
This matters because companies like people who learn and grow instead of becoming defensive.
Notice how all these words connect to real stories, not only vocabulary lists.
Yes, when you attach words to experiences, they become easier to remember and easier to use naturally.
Now that we have new language tools, let's try a small challenge together. All right, here is a small challenge for you. Nothing stressful. Think of it like a quiet rehearsal before an important moment. Imagine you just received an email. It says, "We would like to meet you tomorrow for a job interview."
Take a second and picture where you are when you read that message. Maybe you're sitting at your kitchen table in the morning. Maybe you're on a bus going home from work. Notice how your body feels. Excited? Nervous? Both at the same time?
Now, imagine the first question. The interviewer smiles and says, "Tell me about yourself." Instead of searching for perfect grammar, try to answer using 3 simple parts: your past, your present, and your future.
You could pause this podcast later and actually say it out loud, not in your head, out loud. Even if you speak slowly, even if you make mistakes, your voice needs practice moving in English.
And here's the important part. Don't write a long script, just speak naturally. Maybe you say, "I started working in sales 3 years ago. Now I help customers solve problems. In the future, I want to grow into leadership." Simple and clear.
If you want an extra challenge, record yourself on your phone. Listen later while walking or cooking. Many people feel surprised when they hear their own voice. You may notice you sound stronger than you thought.
Or maybe you notice places where you pause too long. That is not failure. That is information. Improvement begins when we observe ourselves kindly.
Another idea is to practice with imagination. Pretend your friend is the interviewer, or even your pet. Honestly, dogs are excellent listeners.
They never interrupt, that is true. But jokes aside, practicing in a safe space teaches your brain that speaking English is normal, not dangerous.
So your mini challenge today is simple. Say your introduction once today. Just once. No perfection needed.
Because confidence grows from small actions repeated gently over time.
And next, we will talk about simple daily actions that can help you feel ready without stress.
Let's talk about daily action steps now. Many listeners think preparation must be big and dramatic, but honestly, small habits done every day create the strongest confidence.
Yes, think about learning like watering a plant. You don't pour a bucket of water once a month, you give a little water often. Language grows the same way.
Step 1 is very simple. Speak English for 5 minutes every day about yourself, not about grammar exercises, about your real life. While making breakfast, you can say, "Today I will finish a report," or "I feel tired but motivated." Your brain learns to describe you naturally.
I used to do this while walking to work. I described what I saw. There is a long line at the cafe. Someone is running for the bus. It sounds small, but it helped me think faster during conversations.
Step 2 is collecting stories. Interviewers love stories. During the week, remember small moments at work or home. Maybe you solved a problem. Maybe you helped someone.
You can write just one sentence in your phone, something like, "Helped a customer calm down during a complaint." Later, that becomes a powerful interview example.
Step 3 is listening practice, but relaxed listening. Choose short English conversations like podcasts or videos. Listen while doing normal activities.
Many learners try to understand every word. That creates tension. Instead, listen for ideas. Notice how people pause, agree, or explain things slowly. Interviews are conversations, not speeches.
And step 4 might surprise you. Practice smiling when you speak.
That sounds funny, but it changes your voice. People can hear warmth even during video calls or phone interviews.
I once practiced answers in front of a mirror before an interview in a small hotel room. I noticed my face looked serious when I was nervous. When I smiled a little, my tone sounded friendlier immediately.
Interviewers are humans first. Energy matters.
A calm and open tone can make simple English sound very confident.
So, speak a little every day, collect stories, listen naturally, and remember your expression.
Small actions, real progress.
And now, before we say goodbye, let's gently look back at what we explored together today. Today, we talked about job interviews, but also about something bigger. We talked about speaking honestly about who you are. Interviews can feel scary, but they are really conversations between people trying to understand each other.
Yes, we started by remembering that interviews are not exams, they are opportunities to connect. You don't need perfect English. You need clear ideas and real examples from your life.
We imagined interviews like arriving at a dinner invitation. You prepare, you show respect, but you also stay yourself. That image helps many learners relax because nobody expects perfection at a dinner table.
Then we shared practical tips. Prepare a simple personal story. Use real moments as examples. Slow down when you speak and ask questions back. Those small actions change the energy of the conversation.
We also talked about rest. Practicing all night may feel productive, but a calm and rested mind remembers words better.
And during our tiny word tour, we explored useful vocabulary like strength, challenge, experience, responsibility, deadline, teamwork, and feedback. Each word becomes powerful when connected to real situations.
After that, we invited you to try a mini challenge. Speak your introduction out loud. Even once can make a difference.
And finally, we shared daily habits. Speak a little every day, collect stories, listen naturally, and bring warmth into your voice.
If you remember only one thing from today, maybe let it be this: clarity is stronger than perfection.
And confidence often grows quietly, one conversation at a time.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us today on Global English Talks. If you listened while walking, cooking, driving, or maybe preparing for something important, we are really glad you chose to share this moment with us.
Yes, and remember, every time you listen to English, your brain is learning, even when you don't notice it. Progress is often quiet. One day, you suddenly answer a question faster or understand a joke, and you realize how far you've come.
If you have a job interview soon, we are cheering for you. Take a breath before you begin. Speak slowly. Tell real stories. You already have experiences worth sharing.
And if interviews are not part of your life right now, that's okay too. These skills help in meetings, friendships, and everyday conversations. Talking about yourself clearly is a powerful life skill.
If today's episode helped you feel more confident, consider following Global English Talks or sharing this episode with another English learner. Learning together makes the journey lighter.
You can also come back and listen again. Repetition is not boring. It is how listening becomes understanding.
Wherever you are in the world right now, we hope you feel encouraged to keep speaking, keep listening, and keep growing step by step.
Take care of yourself, be patient with your English, and we will meet you again in the next conversation.
Bye for now, friends.
See you next time.